Hello, and welcome back to this channel. Today's going to be a super fun video because today we are going to be doing another informational plant tour. Now, especially today's going to be a massive informational plant tour because there's a lot to talk about. Today's going to be a super long video. So before we do start, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you do not miss our video. And please like this video. Let's go ahead and start today's video. Alright, so if you guys saw our video this morning, we did so much. We watered everything. We put a ton of coconut core on top of everything that really needed coconut core, and we also did a lot of work to just clean the fish tank. So eventually, now you know what, I'll save this later. Actually, we ended up dumping an entire bucket of water in it because a lot of the water actually just went into the air, evaporated. So there's that. It is a little bit higher than I'd like, but that will evaporate quite quickly now that there's a lot of air bubbles starting to put air into the system. So we also cleaned all the rocks in the system. You're probably wondering how. We have this brand new gravel system, gravel cleaning rock thing that works significantly. It's just absolutely insane. So happy about it. But I will say this really quick. I've noticed a lot of stuff happening with this and a lot of just gross stuff growing in it. So I think the thing I'm going to do to fix that is, so I have this black electrical tape. I might do a little bit more research about it to see like if it's toxic to fish. I'd assume it wouldn't be, but I don't want to take any chances. So I'll probably, if it is toxic to fish, I'll probably go ahead and just wrap this entire cord up in it so there can't be any light that gets in. And then I might figure out a different alternative that could wrap around this cord. And then I might do some other stuff here and there to kind of prevent all that light from going into the fish tank and forming all that algae. But fish tank wise, the fish tank is perfectly fine. Number one, because I can clean it really easily. And later tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be picking up even more stuff. And I'm really hoping I can maybe get some shrimp. I doubt it, though. That's an idea, maybe. I really want to go to the store and see if there's any other algae-eating fish. I know there is. I just want to see, like, the pricing and hear, like, more information about those types of fish and see what they need. Then, now, obviously, this is an informational plant tour. So let's go ahead and start talking about all the plants. So with all of these plants, it's absolutely insane to see the difference between both of the systems. All the basil went in at the same time. This basil, just check out the basil right here, and then check out the basil over here. Let me know if you guys see a difference, because there's a huge difference. I really just like everything about this is significant, because I really feel like out of all the work I've done with hydroponic systems, it's just, this is significant. All of this is significant. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Because if you look around, none of the plants in the system are doing good. And yeah, just everything about the system's not going great. Now, obviously, if you guys look around, stuff is growing. I will say that for sure. Because I don't want to say like it's like all failing, stuff is dying. I won't say that, but I will say there is significant problems with it because the plants aren't getting enough nutrients. Just the system isn't doing great. I am going to be doing a lot of work with it this weekend to just hopefully fix the problem or change some stuff here and there. But other than that, system's not doing phenomenal. But yeah. Then we get over to the aquaponics and just everything is absolutely thriving. Everything in the system is thriving. If you look around, the lettuce going absolutely insane. Just check out all that red lettuce. Check out that leaf. Wow, that looks awesome. And then let's go down the shelf. Now we have all of this fun stuff. Now I will say the parsley is coming up on its last few days. I'm going to have to change it up. And, well, because if you look around, it used to be really green, and then now the plant's just getting way too big. Check out that root structure. That is insane, actually. I've not really had the chance to look at that plant in particular yet. But like everything everything about this is insane. Just the root structure and everything about it. So, I will say, I do feel like ever since the plants have gotten a lot bigger and they are just asking for a lot more, they're not literally asking, but now that they're like wanting more nutrients and they're taking up more nutrients, I really feel like the water quality is so insanely clear on the system. All the basil will stay. The lettuce will be harvested very soon, and I will replace it with some different lettuce in a different growing medium. And then I think I'm just going to go ahead and replace all the parsley very soon. I am going to make, actually I made some sandwiches the other day ago and put some parsley on it, and it was phenomenal. So I really do feel like out of all of this, just everything about the parsley is insane. I've grown parsley and pretty much everything else throughout the shelves. And I will say the taste and just everything about the stuff in these aquaponics systems is just like 10 times better. I really do feel like aquaponics could be the future of farming. Now, I will say you can't grow everything in aquaponics, and there are a lot of other things that do factor into aquaponics that I really haven't talked about on the channel before. But other than that, it is really simple. Then going over to the other system, there is a lot over here. Now, what I mean by that is because number one, we just watered, so everything is freshly watered. Number two, a lot of the stuff over here now has coconut coir on it. Meaning, so let's just go back a little bit. A lot of the stuff, like, for an example, like this right here. This is our topsoil from Miracle Grow. Really recommend that soil. A little bit overpriced. And then again, I am going to start making my own soil very, very soon. Also, that soil absolutely just, I really feel like out of all the testing I've done throughout the last year, there's no bug eggs in the coconut coir. But there seems to be some in the topsoil. So when I do start getting the soil wet for the plant, there starts to be a ton of eggs starting to hatch out of it, a ton of gnats starting to form. We do have gnat and fruit fly catchers, so that is good. But other than that, I'm trying to really prevent that. And I've done a lot of testing, and so far, one of the best methods doesn't work 100%, definitely is not 100%, but it's a lot more effective. We put coconut coir on the top of the soil to kind of act as like a shield, but it still is soil, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really solve much, but it definitely makes a big difference. Talking about the plants now, we have oregano right here. Absolutely insane. The flavor that oregano has, especially fresh basil like this, is absolutely insane. Then we are growing a ton of stuff over here. We are growing mustard and dill. Now I will say, so far, I'm not seeing any progress on any of these, which is a little bit disappointing. But other than that, they are doing phenomenal. Very, very excited about that. And just, yeah. Then going down one shelf, we're germinating 8 different plants. We're germinating cilantro, basil, tango lettuce, buttercrunch lettuce, oak leaf lettuce, parsley, red lettuce all the way down there, and then grand lettuce at the very, very end. All of this lettuce is not going to stay in these pots because, number one, it is way too much stuff grown in those pots, and the soil isn't all the way up. So that is one big thing. Also, I'm hoping to reuse a lot of that soil. Probably not, now that I think about it, because a lot of those seeds will be still in it. But a lot of this stuff will be taken out, the roots will be cleaned, and then they'll go straight into the aquaponic system. I think I am going to start doing it this way so I can just grow the plants a lot bigger. And then they can just grow a lot more of a root structure. So kind of what I was saying about that is I'm also going to be changing the growing medium to pebble balls. So going back over to the system, I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So right here we have sponges, and it's absolutely full of algae. Now the lettuce down here is even worse, but I'm going to change it to this type of a system. We've actually already started it. We have bunching onions, and the roots actually look pretty good, which is very, very exciting. And then we are also growing peas this way. And so far, the peas are absolutely doing insane in this system. But going back over here, I'm also hoping to have some lettuce and some other stuff here and there to go in these pots, and I'm going to grow them a different way. Now, usually I just kind of cluster them all into one pot and then let it grow. I will say it's pretty much never worked that well, but I think I'm going to change up how I do it. Each pot will get one plant, meaning one plant will go right here, one plant will go right here, and one plant will go right here. And then I'm going to see what works the best because I just want to see it grow. And I really feel like when there's one leaf growing, it really thrives the best. Then, going down to the very bottom, we are growing strawberries. Now, I'm very, very excited about the strawberries because, number one, it is one of my favorite plants to grow. It's probably on my top 10. And then it's just so fascinating to see them grow. They do grow insanely slowly, but other than that, they're also a very, very amazing plant once they actually do start producing those strawberries. Then we have tomatoes right there. Those are doing pretty good too, and I am probably overdoing it with the water stuff, but other than that, they are doing very, very successful. Then we're doing lemongrass and peppermint. I was gonna say parsley there for a second, but I've never really been able to do peppermint that good, and I've never been able to germinate it, but check this out. It's definitely growing quite slowly, but other than that, it's actually doing insanely good. Lemongrass, I don't have much experience with, I'll just say that, but so far, it's looking pretty good. So yeah. Then, going down one shelf, we've already talked about that. Going to the very bottom of the shelf, we are germinating a ton of stuff. From flowers over there to a ton of different plants I've really never worked with. Now, well, I guess all of it I've never really fully grown in the room before. Pretty much all the flowers I have grown in the room, but all of those plants went outside for summer. These will stay inside the entire time unless I decide to put them outside once they are done flowering so they can just grow out a lot more. We are growing cosmos, which is starting already. We're doing daisy seeds, poppy seeds, celery, which I've never done, broccoli, which I've never done, and cucumbers, which I've never done in the room. But I grow cucumbers outside every single year, and it's one of my favorite plants. Now, all three of those do get very big, so I'm going to be doing a lot of testing with it. Most of the broccoli I probably won't have fully grow. Celery, maybe. I haven't really watched many videos of celery growing. Cucumbers, I'll probably just let it grow and overtake everything till it starts doing the cucumbers. And then if problems start happening with like mold or whatever, we'll probably go ahead and take out the plant. But going across, we are growing two of my all-time favorite plants. Both of these are probably, when I say probably, they're 100% all my top 5. Just something about both of these I absolutely enjoy. Mostly memories when I was really little. We would always grow both of these outside every single year. There was one year we didn't, and I was very, very disappointed we didn't grow it. But since then, I've made sure that is my top priority, my first thing that goes outside and starts growing. First thing is going to be sugar peas. Now, absolutely amazing, especially one of my favorite parts about sugar peas is the taste. Once you actually get those pea pods and taste those peas, it's just like one of the best moments of summer. Massive highlight. Same with the tomatoes. Now, tomatoes, the plants are insanely fun and they smell so incredible, but I'm not that big of a fan of tomatoes itself. Now, I'm not the type of person that will just grab a ton of cherry tomatoes and just start eating them without salad or stuff like that. Now, if they are on the salad, I'll most likely eat them. Or if I'm just like, it's just one of those days and I just really feel like having a cherry tomato for some reason. And we all have those days every so often. So there's also that area. Also, for when I do give those to family members and stuff like that, it's a very, very big favorite. Going over, we are growing a ton of flowers. We're growing 2 different flowers, so not a ton, but a lot of progress happening. We are growing morning glories and cosmos and lavender. I will say, a lot of them should have flowered by now. I've noticed a ton of them showing signs of flowering, but none of them have actually really like bloomed, like this one. It started curling out, and then it looked like within like 30 minutes it was going to go ahead and bloom. And then when I walked back in here, the flower was drying up. So don't really know what happened there, but I did a lot of research, and I'm going to be covering that in a very, very big video coming up soon. Going down the shelf again, we have rosemary. Now, what I was saying a second ago, this also got more coconut coir. So did the bunching onions. So did this sugar pea pot, and this the dill and mustard over there. So, talking about both of these, rosemary, one of my favorites. Everything about rosemary is just insane. Really, really love the smell of it, and it's just like amazing. Bunching onions, I don't have any experience growing bunching onions. I've never grown it before. The first time I started growing it was about 2 months ago, and I've really never fully grown it. This is the most I've ever grown it. So it'll be a very interesting journey to see how it is. These did just get transplanted, so I'm not going to see much progress in it probably in 3 days. I'll probably start noticing a lot of stuff. Going down to the very last shelf, besides the rest of the peas I do want to talk about, these are doing really good. The water ended up mostly drying up. The soil definitely still pretty wet, but other than that, I'm going to let it start to dry up. I'm going to keep the soil moist, not dry and not soaked, but moist, so the plants can still absolutely thrive in it, and I'm going to try to recover pretty much everything that looks really bad. Now, going over here, this is another experiment. Well, when I say that, we are growing peas a ton of different ways, which I'll talk about in a second, but these are doing really good. We ended up clustering all of these together in one pot, and then these also did just get transplanted, so that is very good. Now, what I was saying with the experiment, we were doing the same thing with the tomatoes. We were trying to find as many ways of how to grow it. So the tomatoes, we were growing in those little red cups over there, and we were also growing it in the hydroponic system right there. With the peas, we were growing it right there in those pots, and in the aquaponic system, you can see it all the way over there. But I will say, so far, just kind of like the OG ways, the ways I've always done it, are so far working the best, which is interesting. But I will say, both of these two methods are pretty much identical. That is more spread it out, and they have a lot more room to grow. These are more clustered together in one really confined area, but they do have a lot of room to grow out their roots, so that'll be very interesting to see what happens with those. And then over here, the peas can grow all they want. They have enough room to absolutely thrive in the system. So, this is going to be the end of the video. Whatsoever, looking around, I think I talked about every single thing I wanted to talk about in today's video. So if you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you're not missing our video. Please like this video. I just really want to give a second to thank you all for watching today's video and supporting the channel. If you guys want to check out any of our other videos on the channel, we just posted one this morning. And yeah, so this is going to be the end of the video. So thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.